Welcome to the Ballarat Old Cemetery. My name's Jong. I'm the CEO here at the cemetery, and I have the honour of working with a small dedicated team to manage these beautiful community assets so that people have a lovely place to visit. The Ballarat Cemetery runs two cemeteries, the new cemetery and the old cemetery. We're both established at a very similar time, and we're standing here in the historic old cemetery. Rebellion was in 1854, and the cemetery wasn't a formal cemetery until 1856, but it was known as the place for people to come and rest after losing their life. We're going to particularly talk about the monuments that we have that are dedicated to the diggers and the soldiers who fought for our democracy today. And I want to give you a little bit of history around that. So you'll see some shots of what they look like today. They were certainly very different in 1856 and 1854, but still a dedication to those wonderful people who created our democracy. We're standing here particularly at the Soldiers Monument. The stockade took place in 1854 on the 3rd of December. This monument was created some time later, but straight after the service there were two quite small headstones in dedication to those soldiers that lost their lives. The day was really hot and dusty as the cortege moved along the place of burial, slightly rising nearly a mile from the township. The rural cemetery was very wide and open, not gazetted as a cemetery yet. On the 3rd of December each year, we acknowledge the 40th Regiment and the memorial of the Eureka Rebellion by having a ceremony here on that day. It's really important, of course, to remember everybody on that day and the Diggers Monument, which is certainly quite near here. So on December 3rd, 1854, following the attack of the stockade, most of the dead miners were buried in a common grave. The following day, however, the garrison, on alert, a procession of several hundred men, 3 abreast, accompanied a few more coffins along Main Road, up past the camp and out Creswick Road to this cemetery that we're standing on today. It's not known how the graves of the diggers were marked following their burial, but it was not until a year later that the monuments were erected on March 22nd in 1856. The monuments were donated by the sculptor James Leggett of Jong, whose talents were recognised throughout the colony at the time, and newspaper articles at the time featured his great work. The main inscription on the Diggers Monument reads as follows: "Sacred to the memory of those who fell on the memorial 3rd of December 1854. In resisting the unconstitutional proceedings of the Victorian government." This monument was presented by James Leggett, Geelong, to the people of Ballarat, and by them erected on the 22nd of March 1856. So on the 3rd of December each year, the Diggers Monument is a significant destination for union members and those who want to celebrate the democracy of our great country. And it's our honour to care for it. I just want to acknowledge the Eureka women, and we've been doing some work out of Dot Wickham's book of the Eureka women in acknowledging women in our cemetery. The women of Eureka contributed significantly to the democracy we have today, and quite often we tell the story of the men, the soldiers and the diggers, and really important, but there was this whole group of people who supported the fight for democracy.